The national conversation in South Africa has been set ablaze by startling revelations, rumors swirling about Cat Matlala's name appearing in the so-called CR17 bank statements, and, intriguingly, President Cyril Ramaphosa's name cropping up among something referred to as 121 case dockets. What does this mean? Who is truly implicated? And how might this shape the country's political landscape moving forward? To understand the weight of these claims, we need to step back and look at the roots of both the CR17 funding controversy and the murky 121 docket narrative. The CR17 bank statements relate to Cyril Ramaphosa's 2017 ANC presidential campaign, CR17, during which funding channels and donor identities came under heavy scrutiny. Over the years, questions have lingered. Which individuals financed the campaign? Were those contributions above board, and did they translate into undue influence once the campaign succeeded? It's in that context that the sudden, unverified mention of Cat Matlala's name in those statements raises eyebrows. Meanwhile, references alleging that Ramaphosa appears in 121 case dockets has stirred talk around political elites and the justice system, whether these are legitimate legal files or a more symbolic smear. Let's explore both topics in turn, unpacking the implications, examining different perspectives, and painting a clearer picture of how media, politics, and public trust are entwined. First, the CR17 campaign itself. In 2017, Cyril Ramaphosa emerged victorious in the ANC's leadership race, pledging reform, anti-corruption, and renewal. But funding such a campaign in a large, diverse nation like South Africa requires vast resources, and the trail of donations quickly became a magnet for speculation. Over the years, journalists, opposition figures, and watchdogs probed alleged links between donors and later governmental decisions. Now, the claim that Cat Matlala is among those names in the CR17 bank statements ups the ante. If true, it would link him more directly to campaign financing, potentially raising questions about what he might have received in return. Then there's the 121 case dockets claim. Reports circulating online suggest that Ramaphosa's name appears there, sparking theories ranging from misfiled cases, politically motivated dockets, or information planted to cast a shadow over his image. If the president's name really is in those dockets, is this a sign of legal entanglement or an intentional smear? Critics point to systemic inequities in South Africa's justice mechanisms, emblematic of how the powerful are shielded or how documents can be manipulated in service of political narratives. Critically, the source of these claims appears to be an Opera News article, which states that controversy surrounding the hashtag CR17 bank statements has once again ignited public debate after revelations that prominent figures, including Cat Matlala, appeared in the documents and that Ramaphosa's name features among 121 case dockets, sparking even more speculation about how political elites navigate accountability within the justice system. It further notes that these associations erode public trust in leadership and undermine the credibility of institutions tasked with upholding accountability and transparency. Opera News, however, relies on content supplied by external bloggers, meaning it reflects opinions that may not have been verified or editorially vetted. That raises a key point. While these claims are unnerving, the lack of corroboration means we must treat them as allegations that require further evidence. From one vantage point, supporters of the president might argue this is merely a smear campaign, politically motivated, leveraging speculation to sow doubt ahead of key elections. They would say the justice system continues to function independently and that no credible judicial process has linked Ramaphosa to any case. On the other hand, critics and skeptics may say the allegations reflect deeper truths about how political power and money intersect in South Africa. If someone like Cat Matlala, who has been embroiled in other legal issues, is named in campaign funding documents, they might assert that this illustrates the pay-to-play environment. Likewise, if case dockets list Ramaphosa's name, even tangentially, detractors could argue it reveals either a misuse of state apparatus or a lack of transparency around who is really held accountable. In balancing the discussion, it's essential to remember, no official legal filings or statements publicly confirm these names appear in the documents in question. No court filings or credible media investigations have substantiated the Opera News claim. At best, we have unverified online reports from partisan or informal sources. That doesn't mean something isn't going on, but it does mean that public discourse must proceed with both vigilance and restraint. This saga underscores the broader problem of trust in politics. When campaigns are funded opaquely and when allegations circulate without clear resolutions, the vacuum invites cynicism. Citizens ask, who really holds power in South Africa today? If the name of Cat Matlala, or any figure, appears without explanation, it casts doubt on proceedings. If allegations seem to touch the president, it amplifies fears about selective justice or political theater. Where do we go from here? For one, media outlets and watchdog groups ought to investigate. Are the CR17 bank statements publicly accessible? Can a credible audit or Freedom of Information request verify who appears in them? Similarly, if Ramaphosa is truly in 121 case dockets, were those dockets? Are they criminal cases, administrative files, misfiled documents, or something else entirely? Who filed them, and under whose authority? Given the high stakes, national trust, the integrity of institutions, the upcoming elections, it's vital for those in power to respond transparently. Silence or denial without evidence can be just as corrosive as confirmation. South Africans deserve to know whether these claims are wild speculation or early indicators of systemic issues. Looking ahead, if real investigations confirm such connections, it could trigger calls for reforms, campaign finance audits, judicial transparency, institutional protections. If instead the claims are debunked or traced to bad actors online, it will serve as a caution about rumor, disinformation, and the need for rigorous journalistic standards. Ultimately, this saga reminds us that democracy is not just about elections. It's about clarity, fairness, and the public's ability to trust. When power, money, and justice converge without visibility, doubt creeps in. But when allegations surface, careful inquiry, open data, and clear accountability can restore confidence. So, as this story unfolds, whether it's proven, disproven, or left lingering, South Africans deserve better. Detailed facts, credible sources, and institutions that can answer the hardest questions, not evade them. Thanks for staying with me through this deep dive. If you found this exploration insightful, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about these allegations? What should happen next? Let's keep the conversation going.